Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, collectors of all ages, it is Aussieverse, and we are back. I'm Omnibo. This is Single Issue Steve. We are proudly sponsored by Comic Bookaroo, and the gentleman underneath us has been on the show before. And since then, he's become a friend of the channel. He is the I don't know what to call you anymore, because you used to be like the letterer, but then I found out you do so much more with your Kickstarter award. Anyway, I'm going off track. Ladies and gentlemen, this is SK, and we're here to talk about his book on Kickstarter. This is Wolf Cubs. How are you, dude?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on. I'm going to be a bit weird because I actually got two screens, so I'm going to be left and right a bit. So I might seem a little bit all over the place, but I'm right here.
Not a problem, man. As long as you're comfortable.
Oh, like you mentioned the lettering. I love lettering. But today I've got something slightly different for you. Rather than just talking lettering, and I've talked about it and all the different tips, tricks, all the technical things to it. There's something I want to show you guys actually. And I actually asked Bo before if you don't mind doing a bit of a Russian accent, because I want you to read something with me. And after all this, I'll actually explain. This is something very technical in terms of comics. And it's something that's actually a little bit more comic related than, say, a script or a movie. I'm going to share my screen. And I know I'm being very cryptic right now, but it's all going to make sense in about 5 seconds.
I was going to say, because for those at home, all he did was say to me, can you do a Russian accent? And I said, yes.
Halloween food.
Okay, right. If you can share the screen, everything will get explained.
There we go. Alrighty.
Okay, I'm going to zoom in as well. And let me zoom in so that it's nice and big for everybody.
You'll need to, yeah.
It's nice and huge. So, okay. So, the one I was having this discussion before, and a lot of, and again, I am as guilty of this as anybody. So I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm actually very, very guilty of this. But when you write dialogue is one of the key parts of comics. And I won't get into the whole narration, inner voices, and that type of discussion. There are some writers who go, a comic panel has to be like a movie script. So you can't have people in a monologue all the time. I'm 50-50 on that. Like, I think there are times where it makes sense. There's times where it doesn't make sense. But I also know it's something that some people really avoid. There's some times where they put captions and other bits and pieces that you can't always do properly in the movie. When a movie does a caption, like this is in New York City, usually it's separate to the actual filming, if you know what I mean. It actually takes you out of the world. In comics, it actually still places you in the world. Like, you could have easily a caption, say, up here. But there's two types of dialogues. And to be fair, there's a lot more, but I'm trying to simplify it down. I'll say there's two main types of dialogue that comes through. The first type of dialogues is expositional. So as they are talking, you're explaining what is happening or you're advancing the plot. That's very expositional dialogue. The second type of dialogue is very character-driven dialogue, where you learn about the character depending on what they say. And in this sequence of dialogue, what I'm trying to say here is that most people don't say what they want to say. So, and again, I'm being very cryptic here. The whole idea is that most communication is, I think, again, don't quote me, but a lot of people say most communication between two people when they talk, about 70% is nonverbal. Like, you can contextualize everything just by what the situation is, are they looking happy, sad? You can kind of figure everything out without much talking. And you've always heard the phrase, if somebody comes over, you see them, you go, no, we don't need to talk. You're upset. We just, here's a cup of tea, or here's a beer, dude, just chill. So, but in this case, I'm going to have you read through this entire page, because you see the two characters, one's a girl, one's a guy,
Yep.
And they're both talking, but they're talking past each other. And you see what I mean when we actually read it through. And you actually see the guy's trying to say something to her. She's missing it totally. And she's trying to say something to him. And he's missing it. He's totally missing it. And the whole point is, I don't actually have to say what's being said for that context. It all works out without actually spelling what happens out. So I'm happy to be the girl or the guy. I'm totally easy the way. Pick a character, Bo, guy or girl, but you have to try to speak in a Russian accent. That's the only thing.
Okay, well, if I have to do a Russian accent, I'm going to do the guy.
Done. Absolutely. So we'll start with panel 1, and we'll move through the panels, and we'll have a bit of fun with it. I do a horrible Russian accent.
Awesome.
So, if you're Russian, I'm so sorry. I apologize out front.
I didn't say I'd do a good one. I just said I can do one.
Oh, but all the names are Russian as well, so it's a bit of fun. So you can start with Dmitry, and we'll work our way through.
Okay. Oh boy. The one I was going to go with, I've just looked at the next panel and I've seen how young he actually looks now. With the one I was going to, you know what? I think I've only got one Russian accent in me. Dmitry is my best friend, but you guys are different. You'll fly fast.
Yeah.
He's the slow and steady type.
Yeah.
What do you see in him?
Oh, haha. He's kind and very sweet.
I fly fast, and you know I can be kind and sweet too.
I know. I get what you're hinting at. I have a friend I'd love to introduce you to.
Am I still going here? Okay.
Yep.
That's not...
Oh, don't get all shy now. Be brave, confident. I'm happy to play matchmaker for you. I do anything for you. You know you're like family to me, like annoying baby brother.
Hey! I don't want hey. That's more. Hey!
Okay, I'm going to leave this up for a second. So I'm going to ask you guys, do you know what's happening without me telling you what's happening?
Yeah.
I'll go to Steve.
Exactly
What do you think is happening here, Steve?
I think there's an affection there somewhere, but it's misplaced.
Yep. So I'll spell it out nice and clear. So earlier, he's interested in her. He's trying to ask her out, and he's trying to hint that like Dimitri's the best friend. What do you see in Dimitri? So he knows that she likes somebody else.
He's getting
brushed. I can't say that. But he's
getting frustrated.
And he's frustrated because he's trying to ask her out, and she's just, oh, you want me to play matchmaker? Now, a lot of the contextual clues here, and I'm only showing you one page, so you don't get the full 2-3 pages contextualized clues here, but you get a lot of things that are happening without me specifying what happened. Does she know that he likes him, and she's playing ignorant and just, oh, I'll be matchmaker? Or is she totally ignorant? Or does she know and is trying to, hey, let him down slowly by saying, I will find you somebody else. I know you like me, but I'm actually liking somebody else. Or could she be what the hell is this guy on about? Or is she just trying to deflect? So you can kind of see here, the dialogue actually doesn't say anything like that. There's no inner monologue where she goes, is he asking me out? You don't have any of that. And I think this type of dialogue is actually really, really strong, that you can tell a story without telling a story. And it's actually really strong dialogue. The easier dialogue could be, oh, I really like you. Could we? Oh, no. I'm going out with your best friend, Dimitri. We can't do anything. That is very boring dialogue because it just spells it all out. I mean, it could be. Yeah, but you know what I mean? I could easily
and this page, and this page, is this from your book?
No, it's from something I did previously. So this is actually from Wordsmith. But you know what? I'll show you some of the bits and pieces. But the whole point of Yeah. Sorry.
Before you jump on, mate, just in that last image at the bottom,
Yep.
reminded me of something I heard years ago, that quite often, if a woman likes a man, she'll go, "Oh, stop it," and you know, just hit him and stuff like that.
Yep.
And I'm wondering, wonder if that's part of it.
There you go.
So
Again,
one of those
like I said,
non-verbal cues.
exactly, non-verbal cues, which it's really, I have to say this, this type of dialogue is actually really difficult to write. It's just so much easier to go, I like you, but not now, or whatever. It's a lot of dialogue is just written that way. And to take that away and actually have it that it's organic and people make up their own minds here. Like, I'm not spelling out to you whether she likes him, doesn't like him, knows. Do I know you like me, or do I know that you you work it out? And I think that's actually really important, because in most cases, you want people to kind of get the story themselves. You know what I mean? If you spoon feed stories all the time,
Yeah.
you kind of take away some of the magic behind it.
Yeah,
So, but thank you both for your Russian accent.
it was
But
very good.
again, and the other thing, which in terms of dialogue, and like the whole point would be, and I always do this, and I actually do it in Wolf Cubs as well. I like to introduce words that you have to figure out in context. Now, it just happens that Ja is actually Russian for yes. It just happens to be. But a lot of times, I like to put words in there that you can just figure it out. There was a really good Disney film, which I really enjoyed. I think, oh God, if I get the name wrong, I'm going to get slammed. I think it's Raya and the Last Dragon.
That's one of the newer ones, yeah?
One of the new ones. Yeah, Raya and the Last Dragon. My girl loved it. I loved it too. But they start swearing at each other in a Disney film. But because they didn't know how to swear, you're not allowed to swear, they made up the swear words. So they actually said, "Oh, you," and don't quote me. I can't remember the exact words. You Benghazi or something. It's like, what does that mean? You're insulting her. So it's all these swear words that they jammed into the movie, and they just made up new words for it. Now, none of the words make sense, but contextually, it makes sense because you can imply what they're saying. And I loved it. And so a lot of things I do, I challenge the reader to kind of figure out contextually what they mean without me saying it. So really good dialogue tells you the whole story without telling you anything. And it sounds very, very counterintuitive. But the worst type of dialogue is the one that spells it all out for you, every line, every thought, everything. People don't talk like that. People don't verbalize like that. And as soon as you do it that way, it takes a lot away from the writing. And really good writing is very, very difficult. And I have to freely admit, gosh, it takes me a lot of rewrites to get to where I think it should be. And I'm the type, even when I see it, if I read back on something, I'm going to go, oh gosh, I would have changed this afterwards.
Oh,
So,
well, thanks for showing us all of that, man. That's really, really cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's very interesting.
yep. But I still want to show you a bit more, actually. Like, I do enjoy this because I like to. There's so much technical stuff in comics that that's why I really hate it when somebody ever says, "Oh, comic books, that's just a storyboard for a TV series," and you're going, "It's absolutely not. It's like the furthest thing away from a storyboard from a TV series because it's actually got not much to do with it." Let me share another thing. And by the way, I hope you guys don't mind me getting all these technical stuff because it's a lot of fun for me.
That's cool.
Okay, so in this case, let's bring this one up. I'm sharing another screen. If you can pop that one up.
Oh, okay. 1 sec.
And I'll explain the rules to lettering first, and I'll explain why in this one particular case, I'm actually breaking said rules. Now, the lettering rule number one, and this is the basic rule for lettering, if anyone gets into it, is you start from the top left and you work your way to the bottom right. The idea behind it is imagine you're reading a page, so you start from here all the way to the bottom. Second rule is Word bubbles are meant to bubble their way to the top. Think of it like it's rising. So where possible, you put the word bubbles above the person's head. That's the second rule. So the first rule, left to right, top to bottom, and where possible, word bubbles over the guy's head.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Hey, mate.
Yeah, take a look around when you read a lot of comics. They majority of the time they do follow rules. Now, if you know the rules and you understand the rules, that's one thing. But once you understand it, it's then you can break it. It's like usual. Know the rules before you break the rules. So in this case, you can see the guy with his bloody hand. He did this to me, and he killed my men. So if you were following the rules exactly, this is in the right place, but the what should be above his head, should be around here, because, in dialogue. But I dropped the what below the hand because what happens is your eyes will naturally go top left, and it passes through the point of focus. And this is because when I letter, I also read the story. It's not just a case of copy, paste, get the dialogue in there. You have to read it. You have to understand what's happening on the page, because the bloody hand is the key feature, and it forces the reader's eyes through the bloody hand, which is very, very important because it gets that focus there. Not the guy's bald head to the right, sorry. It gets the focus where it needs to be, which is on that hand, which is, if you can think about it, it tells the story. And you can kind of see with the dialogue, it then reinforces that story bit to it. I've got one more to show you. By the way, I hope you guys don't mind. I love showing you all these things. One more to show you, and then actually I got two more to show you if you guys are up for it.
Yeah, go for it, dude.
I will stop sharing this one, and I'll share this one. And I'll explain the rules again. I'm breaking the rules here again. Like I said, the basic rule, top left, bottom right, top down. There is a reason why the dialogue balloons are split this way. And there's actually a very, very good reason. And again, if you read a lot of comics, you start picking all these tips and tricks up. You don't want the two characters, if they're talking, where possible. Everything is where it's possible, because the letterer's job is to work around the art. Now, sometimes the art doesn't allow you to do certain things because the artist drew it too cramped, there's not enough space. You kind of work with what the artist gives you. But if the artist gives you lots of negative space and lots of room to work with, when two people are talking, you want to always try to leave the line of sight between the two characters open, because you want the two characters to be looking at each other and not at the balloon, if that makes sense. So you can kind of see here, easily the balloons can be placed anywhere else. Like you got lots of negative space here, top, bottom, you name it, there's negative space all over the place. But the reason why it's split that way is it gives the opportunity for the reader to see the two characters looking at each other. And again, that takes the power back into the artwork, and it takes the focus away from the lettering. And again, third rule of lettering, you're trying to be as invisible as possible. You're leading the eyes, but you're not trying to be part of the artwork, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, and let me stop sharing this one. And there's one more I want to share. And
because I look at that, mate, and I look at it and go, the lettering actually enhances them looking at each other with a gap through the lettering.
And the last one, and then last one to share. Okay. This one was a bit of fun. In this case, the artist didn't leave me much room. Again, I'm the letterer. I work with what I have. I'm the last guy in the chain, so I don't get a chance to say, I'm not allowed. I mean, I can, but nobody's going to listen to me. I can't at this point go back and say, hey, by the way, your artist gave me very little room. Can you get him to redraw this? Can you get the inker to re-ink this, recolor it, and then resend it to me? Because I don't have enough room. You're going to get laughed at. And it's not your position to say so. And by the way, if you're a letterer, that's the easiest way to lose your job. If you go back and say, you need to redraw this for me. you can kind of see here the dialogue is split. And there is a good storytelling reason why it's split. The I already have is her talking to the guy on the left. So the dialogue balloon has, like, you could easily have the dialogue balloon here. There's enough space to go I already have and come on Big Fuzzy, both of them on the right hand side. There's enough space for it. You could easily put both dialogue balloons, snowman them, put them both to the right. Easy enough. But the I already have, again, it's, if you read the entire page, it's actually a reference to this guy. This guy asks a question. Have you done it already? Oh, I already have. And then she's going to the bear. Come on, Big Fuzzy. Come and, I've done my homework. I'm ready to go and play. That's kind of what the story makes sense to. Having it split this way does a lot of things. Number one, it gives a artificial sense of depth, that there is a foreground, background, and midground. Having the dialogue balloon cut through the two of them, it reinforces that this is not just a 2D panel. It actually kind of gives a slight illusion it's 3D. It's not, but and it then that I already have references the guy to the left, and the Come On Big Fuzzy then references the bear on the right. And if you put it all together, it seems very, very simple, but it drags again the reader's eyes from left to right, from the guy standing in the doorway, and it's contextually important. The guy on the left is actually the main character, by the way, in this particular story. So contextually, he's actually very important, and the bear is also very important, and the Big Fuzzy is also very important. Now,
is this Jesus and the Bear?
No, it's
story?
not. It's actually a King Arthur type story. Now, again, I'm not going to pick on the artist. The artist did a phenomenal job for this. And as I also know the artist, sometimes they read the panel, and occasionally, because both of these, if you look in the script, were basically in one dialogue balloon. So the panel, the artist may not know that they actually references one for the guy on the left and one for the bear. He may not know that. But if on the hypothetical, to make the letter's job as easy as possible, I would have swapped the bear and the girl, put the bear onto the right, put the girl in the middle, and then you could have the I already have dialogue balloon left to the girl and the Big Fuzzy to the right. So you actually have two balloons split left and right. If the artwork was done that way, that would actually be the cleanest way to depict her talking left, looking right type thing. But if you don't get that as the letterer, you kind of have to figure out what to do. So sometimes you come up with solutions like this, and this is my solution.
Just interrupt you for a second there, because we haven't said g'day to everybody that has been in the chat. We want to shout out everybody that has said g'day, and that is Claudia, Christina, KJB. Who else we got here? Troy, how you going? Rob, we all like Rob. Matt, oh, two Matts in the chat. How do you like that? And King's Games. All right, and that means all righty. Thank you very much. I've just for lifers. This is everybody that does contribute to Aussieverse each and every single month. We really do appreciate all of you people. Thank you oh so much for helping Aussieverse behind the scenes. If you do want to become a full lifer, click the link and join our social chats on Instagram, Facebook, and you get to be on the show sometimes as well, if that's something you want to do. So, yeah, if that sounds like something you want to do, go do it. Otherwise, the best way to support Aussieverse without spending a cent is just by subscribing, and you get to check out all sorts of different videos, because believe me, there is a lot of different videos. All right, now let's move on to the Kickstarter, shall we?
Yep, I will now share the screen. But by the way, if anybody wants to talk anything about the technical aspects of comics, where we can dissect pages, gosh, give me a few hours and I'll run through entire things. Awesome. And it's not even story based. It will be technically, here's what should have happened. And my whole thing would be is always learn the rules. But if you're going to break it, understand why you're breaking said rules. So that's the usual. Learn how to walk before you start breaking all the rules. Let me now share the actual page itself.
Oh, I've got it here.
Oh, yeah. I will let you run with it then, if you want.
There you go. So Wolf Cubs, man. Now you've already done volume 1. This is volume 2. Obviously,
Yep.
you can get volume 1 when you do purchase volume 2. But before any of that, tell us what it's all about, dude.
Would you like to watch the video first? It's less than a minute. We could just pop it up,
Sure.
or
Oh.
Cool.
okay. So I don't know what the genre is called, and that's actually a proper genre name for it. So if somebody in the chat knows it, please answer this question for me. But there's a whole sharp sub-genre of fantasy adventures where people go on quest. So if you ever read comics like I think not Dragon Queen. What was it? Rat Queens.
Side quest enthusiasts.
Is that the correct? Is that the correct genre name?
No, I just made that up, but it sounds right.
It's very
but
cool.
like Rat Queens, where you got this bunch of adventurers who basically take money and they go and we've got a goblin infestation. That's 100 gold. Go sort it out.
Mercenaries.
Mercenaries, but there's a whole subgenre of storytelling that's actually based off it. So if you like stuff like if you I'm going to quote some anime, like if you like Free Ren, Delicious in the Dungeon Meshi, those type of things, I really wanted to capture a lot of that in Wolf Cubs. So Wolf Cubs actually follows 3 characters. One of them is Kriv, who's a thief archetype, Emmy, who's a mage, and Gwen, who's a dark elf fighter. I'll just stop on, if you can just stop on the first one here, is I always say, look, it's the second volume. I totally get it. So if you're new to Wolf Cubs, you're thinking, oh, second volume, I'm going to miss out. I include the digital for PDF for volume 1 in basically every single reward tier.
Awesome.
Except for one. And that's the one where you buy number 2. If you bought 1 before and you didn't want to buy 1 again, it's on every single reward tier. So you can catch up digitally, as well as if on certain reward tiers, you got printed copies of volume 1, and volume 1 can always be picked up as add-ons. So I always want people to be able to jump in on the story, whether digitally or physically. And I love my digital readers. And I'll actually show you the bulk of my backers are all digital. And I love you guys so much. Digital backers, physical backers, I love you guys too. So you kind of see the three main characters. You have Emmy, the mage, Kriv in the middle, and Gwen at the side. And they get told to do certain quests. And this is the first picture, you see them being attacked by a giant snail. In the first quest, they get attacked by a lich. So we do have fun with a lot of these characters. So I make up a lot of fantasy creatures.
That is horrifying.
Yeah. Giant snail with teeth. So if we scroll down, So if we scroll down, and it's basically they have a lot of fun adventures, and each of the characters are very, very different. So in terms of personality, and in Wolf Cubs 1, I love writing volume 2s a lot more than volume 1s, because in volume 1, it's still very character driven. I still need to build the world. There's all these things you need to do to get people into it. In number 2, I can just go, you guys know all this. I can actually jump in and have a bit more fun with it. Like in Star Wars, they don't have to explain the first episode of Star Wars. Obi-Wan has explained who the Jedi are. There's a whole exposition of when he's talking about Luke's dad, how he died in the Clone Wars. You don't have to do anything. In the second Star Wars, it's like, nah, we don't need to repeat any of that. We can just jump straight to the action, which I really enjoyed. So if you scroll down a bit, we do have 3 really cool covers to choose from. I like this one. It's by an artist called Spider Dave. And so this is actually Gwen's younger sister. So one of the things I always love about Volume 2 is with Volume 1, you, and this is just my way of writing. In Volume 1, you kind of have to really concentrate on the core characters, the main characters you introduce. In Volume 2, you go, nah, I don't want to do that. I'm going to bring in new characters and have more fun with it. So in this second volume, you get to meet Gwen's sister on that. Oh, yes, I do. So when I plot stuff out, I tend to plot it out in terms of each volume. It has its own arc, if you will. So you can kind of read 2 without any issues. But if you get 1 and you try and sales pitch for Volume 3, it makes a lot more sense. But if you just read 2 by itself, there is a self-contained story. I'll give you the cheeky right away of how you do it. When you're writing most stories, you write 2 stories. You never write 1 story, you write 2. Very prevalent in sitcoms, more than in, not so much in movies, but much more prevalent in sitcoms and in TV series. Every episode usually has an A story and a B story. And I use X-Files as I love X-Files, as your absolute perfect example. So your A story is your monster of the week. They have to chase the vampire, the evil vampire cult, whatever. So Mulder and Scully investigate too. That's always your A story that progresses through. So people read Wolf Cubs, you get a really strong A story with a good beginning, middle, and end. But to make it so that the super fans and the people who enjoy the story more, there's always a B story of something greater, something bigger happening in that world. Now, the B story usually will tie in a little bit with the A story, usually thematically. So if they're talking about a certain theme, the B and A story will match because you're trying to give some sort of contrast. But if you're reading for the first time, your A story is good enough for you. But if you're reading it for more than that, guess what? You get that really cool B story, and you want to see it develop. And so that's where X-Files and all those type of TV series get really exciting, is when the B story reaches the series finale, and you get to tie in all the plot threads. Thanks. The one which goes a bit crazy with this is Game of Thrones, which has an A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J.
All of the stories.
So you got 3 covers here, right?
That's correct. So you've got the main one.
Yeah, yep. With the
scroll down.
Oh my god, the horrifying snow.
Horrifying snow.
You got the B, which is
that's
pretty cool. Yeah, man.
And then you got the C cover.
Okay, brilliant. Now, there you go.
So you get to see all 3. And my usual sales pitch: if you can't decide between them, you can always get all of them. Help me out.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
And here's some more inside work.
Yep. And again, if we're not going to read the dialogue out, but if you actually do read it, like if you scroll up a bit, I do like this bit of dialogue. If you scroll up, back to the previous page, look, I do like this. He's yelling, "Go, go, go!" And he says, "You don't have to tell me she catches herself instead of saying twice, and she changes it thrice, because the most people said you don't have to tell me twice is the common syntax, but in the case he said, look, it's silly, but God, it's little things like that in terms of dialogue, which I absolutely love. Oh, and one last thing, if you scroll up one more page, and this is a comic book type syntax. Oh, if you go back up to the go, 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 and it's prevalent in any comic you read. If you have a double dash, it means it's interrupted, and you're allowed to interrupt yourself. If it's ... which is the ellipsis, it's trailed off. So you go, I'm thinking of ... But if you go, you don't have to tell me twice. you're interrupting
Alright.
yourself, so it's a double dash. So a little
Okay.
bit of lettering syntax. So if you ever read it, there is a very big difference between 3 dots and a double dash in terms of how you read it and how you contextualize it as well.
You already knew that, didn't you, Steve?
No, I had no idea whatsoever.
Really?
This is great. I've learned so much tonight. This is brilliant.
Yeah.
No, but like seriously, go back and read any old Batman's, Iron Man, stuff like that. All the rules are there. And by the way, you see some of the earlier stuff where they don't know the rules. Like there's one really early X-Men, and you had Magneto in a hallway, and he's trying to stop somebody, and the letterer basically bubbled all over Magneto's head. So the bubble was big enough, and it just covered his head, and you just went. I have the panel somewhere, and I can't remember what exact issue of X-Men it was, but this is like
I can picture that though, yeah.
and it was just covering his head, the whole bubble. And he was going,
oh, this is more interior artwork. Okay.
I would love to show lots happening, and scroll up a little bit more, and this is something a lot of comic. There's 2 things most comic writers when they write they don't do properly. And if you're an artist, you would love your writers to do this. So if you're ever thinking about your own comic, I would say do 2 things for your artist. There's things you do for your colorist, and I'll explain what you do for your colorist, but there's 2 things you always do for your artist. The first thing you always do for your artist is show facial expressions. And you can write it as bluntly as possible. He is angry. He is sad. She is upset. You don't have to write their whole inner monologue. An artist would just go, just tell me what face you want them to do. And when I wrote this panel, all 3 of them had different faces. He's being an absolute idiot. She's really offended, and she's angry. You can kind of see 3 very, very different facial expressions. And a lot of comics, they don't put that in. Or they put the usual very simple expression, happy, sad. Come on. You've got so many more emotions when you're writing a story. Use them. And artists love it. There's one artist challenge, basically, which is, here's a face. Draw me all 15 expressions. I don't know if you've seen, there's always all these artist charts that comes up. It show me 15 different expressions. They love it. You want them to be able to express, and you can kind of see here, all 3 faces are all very different in terms of expression. And they're all telling what happened very, very differently. So if you want to scroll down a bit more, you can kind of see he's still smoking. And I always love to have really cool action sequences. So if you scroll, I think the next page has a really cool action sequence. And it also tells, when you see the action sequence, what's happening. Look, a lot of action sequences, when they fight, it's usually when he throws a punch left, he throws a punch right, blah, 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 blah. But in this case, when you write action sequences, you want to also tell a story by the action sequence. So if you scroll down this one particular page a bit slower, you can kind of tell the guy is just so much better in sword fighting than the girl. But you notice he's just being very arrogant. He's kind of toying with her. He's playing with her. He's going, you know what? I'm much better than you. I don't have to try. And it actually is very, very good storytelling if you can tell a story through a fight. I'm going to quote one of my favorite all-time movies. There is something called Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Mm-hmm. If you guys haven't seen it, it's a spectacular film. Okay, there is my favorite fight scene in it. My favorite fight scene is between Zhang Ziyi. So she's the brash young upstart, and she's facing off against an old veteran, Michelle Yeoh. The fight happens in a whatchamacallit, in a like a training center. So they're both fighting each other. But the coolest thing about the fight scene is the Michelle Yeoh character, it's much, much more skilled than Zhang Ziyi. But Zhang Ziyi has this magical sword that can break anything. So the entire fight scene is basically Michelle Yeoh trying to be smarter than this young upstart to win the fight. And being able to tell really good fight scenes and stories to that is Yi and what's this? Michelle Yeoh. It's actually a really, really difficult thing to do. Being able to tell really good stories through fighting.
Do you want to go through the rewards here for your Kickstarter?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's have a look.
So let's.
All right.
I was actually trying to look for that fight scene, but I'll bring it up if you really want to see it. Just the ending of it. It's like a
No, I know the movie.
if you guys want to see it, that's a when it ends, and it's such a good story. In terms of Wolf Cubs, I love digital backers. I absolutely love them. I don't care because I want my book to be read more than anything else. If you read it, I am happy. So digital, so you get a copy of digital of Wolf Cubs 2, of course. You also get the deluxe because as soon as you do digital, I can break all the print rules. I don't know if you know print rules. It means you need to have, again, depending on how you bind your book, it needs to be in sets of 4 because papers fold in 2. You can't leave a blank page. You have to odd and even the page for page turns. You guys know what page turn is, or?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, you got to do all these rules when you're building a physical product. When you're digital, oh my God, just check all the rules out because it doesn't matter. It's just, you can have an odd page. You can finish the book. I think I did it at 73 pages. Why? It doesn't matter because you're not printing it. So it doesn't have to follow all the step printing rules about page count, page numbers, sets of 4. You don't have to worry about any of that. Bo, I know you love buses.
Sorry, 1 sec. Steve, you good?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Sorry, I just dropped something I was fidgeting with. I have an Allen key that keeps me happy while I'm talking and stuff.
I thought it was a piece of your brain. Sorry, mate. So, okay, so you get a digital, you can grab it. Just the digital itself, you can grab the deluxe, which gives you a whole bunch of extra stuff, correct?
I break all the rules of digital deluxe. I jam everything you can in. I also include, as far as the digital tier, that I always give a lot more. So I try to give a good mix. There's different. There's 2 free Australian comics, and one the guys from the US. And basically, I always try to make sure that you get a lot more. Like, because it's digital, I can give so much more digital media out. You guys can have so much fun to read.
Yeah, man. One of the best things I love about getting digital comics from people like yourself and a few other ones that I've backed is the other stuff that you could get just by like another $2 or $3. So much more other comics, man. It's really cool.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, I give this to all physical backers as well. So if you're a physical backer, you get all the digital stuff for free anyway. Not for it's all part of the package part. In terms of the physical things, I try not to go too overboard, but you get to have 3. You get to get a copy of number 1 if you want it again, as well as you get a copy of 3 copies of 2. Now, if you scroll down a bit more, you get to you can pick between the 3 covers. You also get number 1. Number 1 is still available if you want it. So if you scroll down a bit more, you can see you can still get copies number 1. I do give a trading card out. Basically, with any physical purchase, you get this really cool trading card. The cool thing about this is it's a once-off print. Like, it gets printed once, it's done. I never print it again. And I really like it. So yeah, it's one of my cool. I love the card. You scroll down a bit more. You also get an A5 print, a really nice little A5 print, and I love the artwork as well.
That's nice.
This one was a bit of fun. So this one was I wanted to look like those old Chinese wanted posters, where they paint you in black. It says, "Have you seen this person?" So if you scroll down a bit more, it's like a wanted poster. So you can get an A5 card that looks like a wanted poster as well.
That's cool.
So, this is also part of the stretch goals. So if we reach either of the stretch goals, everybody gets one of this for free. So if you're a physical backer, you get it for free. If you're a digital backer, you get the high res digital thing. And when you get the high res digital, there's no restriction on it. So it's high res digital. Knock yourself out. You can. It's yours. Wallpaper, screen. Have fun with it. The other one is the art is done by a Sydney-based creator called Chris McCain. He works a lot with also the Call project. So he also does A5 sketches, and these aren't your standard 2-second sketches. So Chris actually does put a lot of effort into these sketches. You got shader, whatever. So if you're a fan of original artwork, it's a very good opportunity to pick something that's up.
That's cool,
you can
man.
do whatever you like,
Yeah.
but you don't get that much original artwork. And I know it's a niche categories. There's not that many people who do collect original artwork, but if you are one of those people, it's something you can get involved with. Last one I always have this one, is basically a custom cover. So if you back this tier and at the end of it you send me a photo of yourself, and basically you get a custom cover that gets with your likeness on it. The main thing about this custom cover is I will only print one copy for myself, a proof copy, and as many as people who backed on this particular tier. So the print run is zero, not zero, like 5 or 6 usually, and you get something that's really cool and really original. The cool one
Very
thing
unique.
it's very you want a few people who have it. Most of my books, once they get done, I usually I depends on how it goes. I pitch, it goes to distribution, all the rest of it. I don't know if you know, but my other graphic novels are in 500 plus libraries all across Australia, New Zealand, all Canada, all the rest of it. You'll get a cover that nobody else has. The main cover is the one that usually gets promoted to become the distribution copy, but you get this custom cover which nobody else has. So
Cool, man.
Pretty
Well,
cool.
let's have a
That's
look
pretty
here.
cool.
One sec. Let's go all the way up. What do you got here? So you've smashed your goal.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool. And you've only got 3 days
awesome.
left.
yeah, look, my
Glad you
what
need
I
our help.
oh, I love to talk about stuff anyway. You guys are fantastic, but I just want to talk to you guys anyway. But look, my main goal whenever I do any of this, more than anything else, is, and I've said this a million times, and it's on record a million times as well. My main care is that backer number. Now, do we need the money? I would love the money because it helps fund the print run and also helps me pay the artist and all the rest of it. But the backer number is my key. So I'm at 143 now. I would love to get that over 200 because it's just knowing people are buying it and reading it. That makes me very, very happy. That's kind of why I do it. It's not to become a millionaire, although that would be nice, but it's really so that people read the story and actually enjoy it. And the one thing I always encourage, and I started doing this with all my other campaigns, is, and this is something which is lost, and I really wanted to come back. I know Robert Kirkman does it, but very few people do it. We want letters back in comic books. That's totally vanished, and it really irritates me because back in the 80s and 90s, I used to. I won't tell you which issues because I was if anybody wants to know, hit me up because I'll tell you which issues. But I've written to so many comics back in the 80s and 90s. A bit of an ego thing to see your stuff getting printed, right? But they stopped it.
Oh, and hang on, and it got printed.
Yeah, and I will. If you ever want to know, let me know, and I'll dig up which issues they are.
Oh, really? Yeah, man. Cool.
But it's so cool to see it, but I don't know why they got rid of it, and it's one of the easiest way to engage.
I know. At least Marvel, they haven't gotten rid of it. They still have them, but they're just so minimal. Do you know what I mean? Like I will see all the time at the end of like a series, like these mini ones. We want your letters and all that, and they might do them every now and then because they do, but definitely not like they used to. No.
Oh Do you remember
Mm.
back in say, the 80s and 90s, those old Marvel comics? There were 4 to 5 pages of letters.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
And not just that, they would actually, nowadays, the engagement of the letters are actually, I would say, not, it's very high level. It's, I love your book. Oh, thank you so much. I love you too. It's almost that high level. That's why I actually love, I was one of the few who, not few, I actually read Walking Dead as it was coming out. So I was always hanging out for that next issue.
Yeah.
I think I got started on Walking Dead when it around issue 50 or 60, give or take. Can't remember the exact number. But from that point onwards, I read it religiously on the month, every month. And there was one time where it was twice monthly, which is brilliant. But I was very religious with all that when it used to come out. Robert Kirkman is my gold star for letters because he would like answer all the questions and he would actually, and I think can I won't spoil who dies in case somebody really wants to read it. But in one of the letters, he actually, one of the later issues, and I know you guys read Walking Dead, so, but I don't want to spoil in case somebody actually hasn't finished it because it's near the end where Kirkman kills one of the main characters, and huge main character, absolutely, and that main character dies. And Kirkman said, basically, I know the next letters page will be full of hate, but I'm going to explain to you. And he actually went through why this character had to die for the story. And to be fair, when I read the story, I wanted to kill Kirkman as well. It's like, what the? Oh, we 20 years, no, not 20 years, like 5-6 years we've been reading this, and you killed this person off, which I love. And then you read his letters page where he's trying to explain it, and he's still got the hate mail. He says, I expect the hate mail, but understand why I did what I did. And I'm, again, without spoiling who that character is, and we can probably talk about this afterwards, but it was so brilliant because it engaged so well. So in some other series, I actually started doing letters pages. So far, I've got a couple of letters, which I've included. And a lot of these books I do actually get one of my biggest reads, as Wolf Cubs is in the proper age category. A lot of school libraries get it, and a lot of libraries get it. So I do have a lot of, and I'll share the links with you guys if you really, really want to read. But a lot of people from schools actually send me their reviews, their thoughts, and it's actually really, really good to engage with them that way. And I want to see that back for comics, like proper engagement where people are asking you, why did you do that? Or why did this end up the way it is? Or they point out something that doesn't make sense. I don't know if you know, Marvel had the whole no prizes, where if you pointed something that's out of continuity and you explained it, Stanley would send you an empty envelope saying, here's your no prize. You know, I loved it. And I really think comics need to bring that back. It is something they need to bring back absolutely properly. And you know, the best thing about letters per se is that we're the digital age. You can send an email now. You don't have to wait 2 weeks for your letter from Australia to reach the US. And
yeah, but imagine the millions of emails they'd be getting. You know, they don't want to deal with that. They don't want to be dealing with that.
I would love to. And
how dare you do this to Spider-Man? You know?
I would love it. To be fair,
I would be emailing every goddamn day.
No. Oh, but look, my favorite Spider-Man run was the J. Michael Straczynski run. I don't know if you guys have read that one, where it's my favorite run, with more than all the rest of it.
Yeah.
J. Michael Straczynski went to certain news groups, and God, this is showing my age. If you go back and in the before times of the internet, there was a section of the internet called the news groups. It was like, this is before forums existed or Facebook, and people used to communicate through news groups. And it was very much, J. Michael Straczynski was always in this one particular news group. And I loved it because I used to be able to go, I was really polite, but I would say, Mr. Straczynski, why the hell did Spider-Man do that? And he would reply back, and he would reply, read the next issue because this and this. And by the time you read this, the next issue will be out, and Doc Ock is back, and this is why, blah. Oh man, how cool is that? And like,
It's cool.
and that's actually what you want to. That's what I want the internet for. And I do understand you get swarmed, but me personally, if I get swarmed with too many emails to read from fans, that's a good problem to have. if it's look, when I was writing one story, I had an editor, and so we were working storyboarding through, plot and all the rest of outlines. I killed one of the characters, and I actually killed the main character in, I think, issue 6, because I felt she needed to die because there were other characters who had to grow and step up from there. My editor basically said to me, if she dies, I quit. You can't kill her. She was that strict. And I said, why? The story doesn't make sense or whatever. He goes, no, I love her so much. You kill her, I quit. I will not attach my name to something where you kill her, because she's my favorite character and you cannot kill her. So she gets hurt pretty bad, but she doesn't die. So she falls off the cliff and she breaks her arms and legs and all the rest of it, but she's still alive. But what you find is that's the engagement I want, where fans and stuff really get so invested in it that it's such a cool thing to be able to bring a story to life that way. And like I said, that's bringing back, and I rambled a lot, but bring back all the way back to the discussion. That's why I want the back account to be high, because I want people to read and enjoy it and engage with it. Whether and the thing is, I don't mind if the worst thing you can say to me, and please don't, but the worst thing you can say to me after reading something of mine would be, it was okay. I hate that. I much prefer to say what you didn't like. I don't care if you yell and scream at me or the rest of it, or what you love, but it's okay means I didn't bring enough. I didn't give you any emotions. You didn't feel anything all the way through. And that means I didn't do my job properly. And for that, I apologize. So if you ever say...
They're not going to apologize after they've read it. Thank you very much. This has been SK with his Kickstarter Wolf Cubs. Wolf Cubs. You can see the link in the description. Go check it out. SK, man, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Thank you for everything that you've shown us.
Not a problem. And look, thank you for letting me ramble. I have a huge passion for this, and I have a huge passion for comics, and I'm hoping you guys can actually see it.
Yeah, we certainly can, man. That's why we were glad to have you back. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Hey, by the way, what's Aussieverse?
Oh, wait. For
Face the camera. That's
life.
Right.
I'm sorry. The camera doesn't do it. Wait. Change camera angle. Yeah, there you go.
Good work.
Good work.